Rugby 20. Obviously, I haven't really done a video on this in quite some time. And when we first saw the trailer come out, was it September last year? It looked like it could potentially be promising. Yes, the graphics wasn't that great, but it started to look like it was going to play well. The beta phases were pretty decent as well, and everybody was hyped up for the game. The game dropped this year in January, and it was a few changes and updates to the game, and it started running quite nicely. But then everything stopped. It went quiet, and we didn't hear from them again. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about what happened to Rugby 20 and what's going to be happening in the future. Welcome back to another Rugby video. Please make sure you go ahead and smash that like button to show your support for the channel, and if you are new, please go ahead and subscribe. We upload Rugby videos every single week guaranteed, so please click the notification button so you don't miss out. So as you guys know, I covered Rugby 20 a hell of a lot on this channel, and a lot of people were doing a lot of videos on it as well, all across YouTube, all across social media. It was a very strongly talked about game. I mean, just the Google results here, as you can see in front of you, kind of shows, like, as you can see all the videos there, they had an official website. The cover art looked pretty decent, and overall it wasn't that bad. But I think it's fair to say it did have mixed reviews. As you can see here, Steam 7 out of 10, Games Radar rated at 2.5 out of 5. And then obviously as you go along down all the different reviews from the different critics, it was usually around either just above average or average. And then going on to fans reviews, as you can see here, 3 stars from somebody, 3 stars from somebody else. So it was always kind of above average, and people would pinpoint saying, like, it is a decent game and it does run nicely, but it just doesn't look great. It has too many bugs, it's missing so and so teams and so on. And as you can see, then there was also other people giving it bad reviews, leaving it 1 star, saying the game is awful and it could be potentially a PlayStation 2 game, and just so on. So my personal opinion on the game before we talk about anything else, I enjoyed Rugby 20, don't get me wrong, and I generally think after a few more updates the game could have been very, very good and could have had a solid starting point for a future franchise. It's just a shame they kind of just ditched the whole project and just finished it there. The last update we had was quite a while ago, which I'll talk about in a minute, but like I said, I think it was a fun game, and I do think it was underestimated a bit, but it wasn't the greatest of games. So if you go on social media, then EKO Software, the developers of Rugby 20 themselves, haven't actually uploaded much stuff on their Twitter profile, and as you can see, it's also followed by Squidge Rugby here as well, obviously the most popular rugby YouTuber, because he did a video covering Rugby 20 and playing it and giving his thoughts, and he said it was actually quite fun. Anyway, way off topic. So the last post EKO Software put up was quite some time ago, and as you can see here, March the 10th, and they retweeted a game which is Warhammer, which they are also developers of. So after that then I thought, well, we're not going to get any luck with this, so I then went onto the Rugby 20 page, and the last update we had from Rugby 20 was April 16th, and it just said press A to start. Now, I don't really know what happened there. You would have thought they would have said something along the lines like, that's it, we're finished with the game, or even just something saying like, this is going to be our last update for the game, we've done all these patches and stuff like that, but nothing, just saying press A to start, which is a bit weird. I'd imagine head office, which was Big Ben Interactive but it's now called Nacon, could have been getting involved and saying like, we're going to be cutting funding for this now because maybe you didn't make enough sales, and basically so on. And I imagine some people would have kept their jobs, the likes of managers, directors and so on with EKO Software, but also imagine they would have parted ways with some people, mainly because the game, I don't know how to explain it because we don't have the figures itself, but I'm guessing, going by the reaction of the developers, the game didn't do well, which was a real shame. But I know a lot of people from the previous titles like Rugby 15 and Rugby 18, a lot of people held back buying this game, so which could have affected sales. So now moving on to what the EKO Software, the developers, are actually making now. This is the game they're currently working on, which is called Handball 21. As you can see, it's run in the same engine, but the looks of it, the same as Rugby 20, which is, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but for going into PlayStation 5 and towards the end of PlayStation 4, you would have thought it would have looked slightly better. but it looks very similar to the graphics of Rugby 20, but maybe a bit more polished, because obviously there wasn't as much stuff they would have had to include for handball compared to rugby. So overall, looking at this, we're not going to talk about too much about handball. Looking at this, like I said, the scenery looks nice, and Rugby 20 scenery looked good. It was just the models, like the players here, as you can see. The skin tone looks very cartoonistic. The running animation is pretty poor, as you can see here as well. And yeah, it's basically the same sort of animation for crowds and everything that we saw in Rugby 20. And it basically, by seeing this trailer, it kind of confirms that Rugby 20, it's over. And it is a shame. Like I said, after a few more updates, maybe we could have had a solid rugby game. But they just, by the looks of it, have just finished it and working on this game now. I don't think there's going to be any more progress on Rugby 20 at all. But yeah, like I said, not much has changed with the developers. They're just showing off the same sort of graphics and game engine that they use. The same Mexican wave that you also saw in Rugby 18 and Rugby 20, I believe, as well. A little bit more polished with some like licenses and stuff by the looks of it. But same sort of face scan, same plastic looking skin. So yeah, and there's not really too much else to talk about. Rugby 20 they just finished it, started working on another game, and I'm guessing Nacon then or Big Red Interactive just cut funding and just moved on to a different project, which is Handball 21. So if you're a handball fan, let me know, because I don't know any. Okay guys, without further ado, that's going to be the end of today's video. I hope you did enjoy. Please make sure you go and smash the like button down below to show your support. Let me know your opinion as well in the comment section of Rugby 20. Did you enjoy the game? Do you think it was underrated compared to the reviews that we saw? And are you going to be getting Handball 21? I'd love to know. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you go and subscribe as well. I upload videos every single week, guaranteed. Usually about 3 or 4 videos a week, covering everything to do with rugby. So rugby video games, and rugby in general, talking about weird things to do with rugby and also news. So if you're a sports fan, gaming fan, or a rugby fan, please go ahead and subscribe, show your support for the channel. And yeah, I've been Andrew, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in another video. Peace out, guys.
You don't need to be Prince Charming to me. I just need this to be real. I don't need no fairy tale. You don't need a killer pregnant for me. We run and go still.